Did you know we are currently in solar cycle maximum 25 and what it means for us? Let's delve into this astronomical phenomenon. The term solar cycle refers to a roughly 11-year cycle that the sun undergoes, during which solar activity such as sunspots and solar flares fluctuates. We're currently in the midst of solar cycle 25, an intriguing period of solar activity that began back in December 2019. As we approach the peak of this cycle, expected to occur between January and October 2024, we're witnessing an increase in solar activity. This heightened activity is characterized by the emergence of more sunspots, dark spots on the sun's surface, and the occurrence of solar flares, which are sudden, rapid, and intense variations in brightness. Interestingly, scientists predict that this cycle will remain active longer than previously expected, potentially displaying high solar activity until at least 2027. This means we can anticipate more sunspots and solar flares in the coming years, contributing to the dynamic and ever-changing space weather. So, if you've noticed an increase in sunspots and solar flares, you now know why. But what exactly are sunspots and solar flares, and why should we care about them? You may ask. Well, sunspots are relatively cooler, dark patches that appear on the sun's surface. They are areas of intense magnetic activity, and although cooler than the surrounding areas, they are still blazingly hot at thousands of degrees Celsius. Solar flares, on the other hand, are sudden flashes of increased brightness on the sun, usually observed near its surface and close to sunspots. These flares are a powerful burst of radiation emanating from the release of the magnetic energy associated with sunspots. Now, why should we care? You see, an increase in sunspots is directly linked to more solar flares. And these solar flares, they are not just extravagant solar fireworks. They are powerful enough to eject billions of tons of charged particles into space, some of which head our way and interact with the Earth's magnetic field. This interaction leads to one of the most mesmerizing natural phenomena we can witness, the auroras, or the northern and southern lights. The charged particles from solar flares excite atoms in our atmosphere, resulting in these beautiful, colorful lights dancing in the sky. And the more active the sun is, the more frequent and intense these displays become. But it's not just about the spectacle. The increased solar activity and the resulting geomagnetic storms can have significant implications on Earth. They can impact our communication networks, satellites, and power distribution systems. So, the next time you see a vibrant display of northern lights, remember that it's all thanks to these fascinating solar phenomena. The dance of lights in the sky is a gentle reminder of the sun's power and the intimate connection between our star and life on Earth. Now that we understand sunspots and solar flares, let's discuss how they can impact us here on Earth. The sun, with its fiery brilliance, doesn't just provide us with light and warmth. It also emits a stream of charged particles known as solar wind. During periods of high solar activity, like the one we're currently experiencing in solar cycle 25, this solar wind can intensify, leading to what we call solar storms. These solar storms can have a broad range of effects on our planet. One of the most visible and stunning effects of solar activity is the creation of auroras, the northern and southern lights. These celestial light shows are caused by charged particles from the sun interacting with the Earth's magnetic field. However, not all effects of solar activity are as benign or beautiful. Increased solar activity can have serious implications for our modern infrastructure. Communication networks, satellites, and power distribution systems can all be adversely affected by intense solar activity. For instance, solar flares can cause radio blackouts, and coronal mass ejections, another solar phenomenon, can lead to geomagnetic storms that have the potential to disrupt power grids and satellite operations. Moreover, a major solar event, similar to an electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, could have even more severe consequences. Such an event could potentially ruin computer-run equipment, including our vehicles. Modern vehicles, with their reliance on computer systems, are particularly susceptible. Essentially, a sufficiently strong solar storm could render these vehicles inoperable by damaging their central computer systems. This could lead to widespread disruption, given our reliance on vehicular transportation. In the most extreme cases, we could experience something akin to the Carrington event back in 1859. This was a powerful geomagnetic storm that caused telegraph systems across Europe and North America to fail, with some telegraph operators even witnessing sparks flying from their equipment. If a similar event were to occur today, the effects could be devastating, given our deep dependence on electronic devices and systems. As you can see, while solar activity can be beautiful to behold, it can also have serious implications for our modern way of life. So what can we do to prepare for a major solar event? It's a question that's on many minds, especially as we find ourselves in the midst of solar cycle 25 with solar storm warnings in effect. Preparing for a solar storm is not unlike preparing for other natural disasters. One of the first things you can do is stock up on essentials like food and water. Why? Because a strong enough solar storm could potentially disrupt power distribution, rendering electric pumps and refrigeration systems useless. It's always a good idea to have a supply of non-perishable food and clean water on hand. Now let's talk about vehicles. Modern vehicles with their complex computer systems are highly susceptible to damage from a solar storm. This is because the charged particles of a solar storm can potentially fry these computer systems, essentially disabling your vehicle. However, all is not lost. Classic vehicles, or those manufactured in the 70s and 80s, could fare better in a solar storm thanks to their lack of computer systems. So if you've got a classic car or an older model that's still running, it just might be your lifeline in the event of a major solar event. But what about our homes and all the electronic devices we rely on daily? A company known as EMP Shield provides products that can help protect against the electromagnetic pulses generated by solar storms. These are the same kind of protections used by the government against EMP threats, whether from warfare or solar storms. By investing in such protective measures, you can potentially safeguard your home and essential devices from the damaging effects of a solar storm. Remember, our current solar cycle, which is expected to last until 2030, is predicted to have a high probability of large M-class and X-class storms. While we can't prevent these solar storms from occurring, by taking these steps, we can certainly prepare ourselves to weather them as best as possible. As we navigate through this peak in solar cycle 25, it's important to stay informed and prepared. We've explored the fascinating world of solar cycles, delving into the complexities of sunspots and solar flares. We've discovered how these celestial phenomena directly impact our Earth, influencing everything from the stunning auroras to the stability of our technological systems. We've also highlighted the importance of preparation, acknowledging that solar storms have the potential to disrupt our modern lifestyles. We've discussed strategies to shield ourselves from the effects of these events, such as investing in EMP protection and considering the reliability of older, non-computerized vehicles. Solar Cycle 25 is a testament to the dynamic nature of our universe, a reminder that we're part of a larger cosmic dance. As we continue to witness the sun's increased activity, let's take it as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and prepare. Remember, knowledge is power. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep looking up to the skies. If you enjoy our videos, we invite you to subscribe so that you can be notified when a new video is released.